Hi guys, how are you? I'm just going to do a quick tutorial on how you can make a movie file of your models in 3ds Max. We're going to generate just a little turntable render of a very simple model. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a very simple model. Just put a little cube in my scene here. I'll put another little one over here. And let's just put another little guy like this. Okay, now I'm just going to bring all of these together. I'm just going to add a little bit of scale onto this guy to scale him down. Yep. There we go. So let's say that here is my model. Now all of these pieces are separate. I haven't linked them together, but what I'm going to do just to make this quick and easier is I'm just going to select all these pieces and I'm just going to group them. So I've region selected all of these three pieces, and then just up here under the group tab I'm going to select group, and then in the drop down I'm going to select group again, and then I'll give this a name. I'll just call it model. And you can see what it's done now is the selection actually has a selection box around all three of these pieces, and its pivot is in the center of all three of these pieces here. Okay. Now the next thing that I want you to do is in the drop down in the reference coordinate system up the top here, I want you to select and make that gimbal. By default it comes in at view, but just turn that to gimbal if you could. Okay. Now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to rotate this 360 degrees so that we can render it out and see what it looks like from all angles. By default again in 3ds Max you can see in our timeline down here that we have 100 frames showing in the timeline. We're going to rotate it, let's say, over say 250 frames. So what I want to do is I want to extend the amount of time in this timeline, and the way that I can do that is down here in the time configuration little icon. I'm just going to click on that and it brings up this little window here, and then I'm going to extend the end frame. So you can see it says start 0, end 100. I'm just going to change that to say 250. Okay, you can see here we've got NTSC, PAL, film. Just leave that to NTSC, that should be fine. And now you can see that once we've done that, it's created 250 frames in our timeline. And if we scrub along, there's nothing that's happening because we haven't animated yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of animation. Now this is the bit that can be confusing. Just down here you'll see that there's a little set key, and then there's also a tab here which says auto key, and then another one here which says set key. So what I want you to do is I want you to hit auto key, and then what it does, if you've done it, it will actually put a red line around this viewing window here, and that's what you want. So with all of these selected, you can now click on any one of these and it will bring up your group, it will activate your group. We're going to save a key on frame 0. Now our hotkeys are W to move. I'll undo that. If I hit E, it's going to rotate, and R to scale. I'll undo that. So what we want to do is we actually want it to rotate 360 degrees over these 250 frames. So just hitting E, select E, and then you should have this nice spherical icon here. Now we're going to save a key at frame 0. Okay. Now at the moment you can see that there's nothing there, but what we're going to do is I'm just going to make sure that that's at frame 0, and then I'm going to say set key. Bang. Now if I move this away, you can see that what it's done is it's saved a little red, yellow and blue icon on the timeline there at frame 0. That means that there's a key. It has transition, rotation and scaling coordinates baked into that one frame. So then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go forward. We'll drag the slider all the timeline all the way over to frame 250, and then just making sure that I've got this horizontal axis selected, I'm just going to rotate this around, and down the bottom here, if I select this and make it make it gimbal, you can see that down here, by moving this, it says that I've rotated 251 degrees. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to type in 360 in Z. 360, bang. Now let's play it. And I'm just going to come over here and hit the play animation. And there we go, it's rotating around. But it's slowing down at the end, and then it's speeding up at the beginning again. It's getting fast, so it's not a linear rotation. So what we want to do is we want to make that a linear rotation. So the way that we can do that is with this selected, with this group selected, come up here into the graph editor, and then just select that, and then go into the curve editor, the track view curve editor. Open up that window, and you should get something that looks like this. Now, if you don't have these little curves, what you might want to do is just come into display, and then open up your filters right down the very bottom there, and then just make sure that you have all of your position, rotation and scale X, Y and Z turned on. Okay, so if you don't see something that looks like that, then just make sure that you go into your filters and then make sure that the rotation X, Y and Z is turned on. Okay, now once you've actually located this blue curve, your rotation Z, just go ahead and region select over that curve, and then just up here you can see that what it's done is it's actually highlighted the keys at the start and the end of the rotation there. And we're just going to select this little button up here. You can see that there's a straight line and it says set tangents to linear. Let's just set that to linear. Bang. Okay, I'll just drop that, and now let's just play this. Great. Now it's rotating in a linear fashion. Okay, in the next video I'll show you how we can render this out.